Hi folks, as always a pleasure in connecting and talking to you on contemporary topics, primarily focusing on life and careers, and if that's something which is of interest to you, probably you can consider subscribing to this channel. A very interesting topic being spoken today. I'm sure you'll find this perspective very useful, both in life and careers, and more importantly at your workplace. Are you visible? Is there enough visibility for you in the workplace, and is that such an important thing that without visibility you really don't grow much in your career or at your workplace? That is a factor we are going to talk about today. I'm sure you will find it very useful. And what exactly you are talking about when you say you're visible? The first reaction that comes to your mind is obviously I'm visible to people because people can see and I'm available right around there. That is not what we're talking about. We're talking about visibility in terms of your actions, visibility in terms of what perception people create about yourself, in terms of your actions and the way you conduct yourself. Again, this is not bordering on self-promotion. People might mistake that am I asking you to promote yourselves in a very brash and aggressive manner at the workplace? Am I talking about branding yourself in a very loud way? No, not really. Corporate visibility or being visible at the workplace is all about being known around by people around you, be it your peers, be your subordinates, your bosses, people across multiple functional areas, location heads who matter in the organization. So in that context, are you visible to people? And unless otherwise you create that visibility over a period of time in any organization, believe me, irrespective of how good you are at your work, irrespective of your competencies and skills, it is very tough to grow up the corporate ladder. Again, you might ask, my KRAs are met, I'm doing a wonderful job, far ahead of what my peers are doing. My immediate boss is extremely impressed with me, and what else can you ask for? The whole point here is there are numerous extraneous factors in any organization. Many times if you have a fair amount of work experience, you would have seen your boss come and tell you that, look, in all probability you'll be promoted this year, but there could be one or two factors which I'm not in control of, and in that case you probably have to bear with it. What exactly is your boss saying? All your boss is saying is look, I'm not the only guy who's deciding whether you'll get promoted or not. I'm not the only guy who's deciding whether you will get that particular hike or not. There are other people involved, and unless otherwise those people are impressed with you, then I think it will be very tough for me to unanimously help you out in the situation. That is where visibility matters, my friends, and this is why visibility in the corporate workplace is very important. In one of my earlier videos in this channel, I've certainly spoken about at length about why you're puzzled that promotion has not come to you. I'm linking it up there. You can probably go through it. In fact, that is in a sense an introduction to this detailed video about visibility. Visibility is not just important at your workplace. Visibility is overall important in today's overall work environment, external environment. When you create a very dazzling LinkedIn profile or an impressive LinkedIn profile, what are you aiming? You're wanting to stand out of the clutter and make people see your profile. That is what, in a sense, you're creating a visibility. You're ensuring that the people who see LinkedIn, between the hundreds and hundreds of profiles, are seeing you stand out in that based on how you've written your skill sets. So in a sense, visibility is also about personal branding in these situations. But more importantly, yes, you write your resume, post it on Naukri. That is also a sort of creating visibility. You post your profiles on social media. You probably create a very impressive LinkedIn profile. All this is visibility, yes, very important. But I would say the most important factor in terms of whether you will prosper within an organization, whether you do well within an organization, whether you will grow considerably well in any 3 to 5 year stint in any organization, is purely based on a whole bunch of people in that organization perceiving you as a very smart person, as a very professional person, or whatever way they want to. And for this, it is very important that you probably work directly and indirectly towards creating a visibility all the time. As I said, this is done very subtly, and this is not brash self-promotion. It is not throwing around your ego and self-trumpeting your accomplishments, but talking where it matters, moving with people who matter, being courteous to people who matter in the organization, being a mentor to people, being helpful to people, being courteous to people, willing to get mentored by somebody who is very, very good across functional areas, having your eyes and ears open in terms of what is happening around the organization, giving few words of kindness and courtesy to people who are in distress. So it is a combination of all these things, and it just comes by practice. It just comes by you deliberately wanting to create that visibility day in and day out in a very, very subtle manner, I say. Yes, as far as your accomplishments are concerned, you obviously have to you speak it up with your boss whenever you probably, if there is a milestone which you are crossing in the organization, you need to tell your boss that, look, I've crossed this milestone, I'm very happy about it. Do you think I've done well, or have I exceeded your expectations? How do you rate my work, and things like this? So constant dialogues like this also sends a subtle message to the boss that, look, come appraisal time, this chap is going to ask us for something, and we need to be mentally prepared to give him that. That is one. That besides, look at who other is going to be very, very influential in your organization. If you are in the headquarters, who are those people who are connecting very, very closely with your boss, or probably working closely with your boss from across functions? It can be HR, it can be supply chain, it can be other functions. I wouldn't know the exact hierarchies or different verticals in any large organization, but if you are in your organization, you know who matters and who all matter in the overall grand scheme of things. You really need to probably showcase yourself very, very, very covertly and overtly to them on a very, very continuous basis. And the moment your name is dropped somewhere by somebody, immediately there has to be a top of mind recall in this bunch of people. Yeah, I think I've heard of this guy. He comes across as very smart. Yeah, I've heard of him. He comes across as very professional. So this is all about corporate visibility within the organization. And believe me, without this kind of visibility, without this kind of sustained work to create a very, very positive perception or positive bias towards our professional standing, professional stature, and even personal brand, it is very, very tough to influence decisions in organizations in our favor, particularly when it comes to professional growth and things like that. When I say influencing decisions in our favor, I'm not saying we need to be aggressive and we need to really go around with a professional begging bowl and ask for things like that. No, I'm not saying that. I'm also not saying that you're desperate for growth, so you really are going around tom-tomming things you didn't do and things like that. No, I'm not saying that. You need to consciously be aware of what you are doing. You have to meet that bare minimum growth needs in the organization. Speak to people who matter, convey to people time and again who matter that you have done this, you have done that. At the same time, for people who are not in your functional area but who are key decision makers, it can be a HR head, it can be a location head who is the head of cross functions and location if you're not sitting in the headquarters. Many people like this. I really cannot draw a comprehensive list of people who are in the organization for a fairly long time, maybe 1 year or so. You very, very clearly are aware of who are these people who matter in the final grand scheme of things, in the final decision making. So that is the power of corporate visibility. And believe me, if two people are the same, two people have done the same work, and two people have performed at the same level, believe me, the person who has the most visibility is the person who grows. And even if the person who doesn't have the visibility has performed much better, far ahead of somebody else, he is really not going to grow because he is not even seen by anybody. And it is not anybody's fault. It is his own fault that he really didn't try to position himself in this manner to different stakeholders within the organization. So believe me, very, very underrated factor. I'm not sure if many professionals today or many counselors today speak about the importance of being visible within the organization, but if you really work hard towards creating the visibility for yourself on an ongoing basis in any organization, end of the day, it will be a huge favor you do yourself. It is something which is very, very important and will play a crucial role in the growth of your career trajectory. Career growth is not in isolation. Career growth in organization is a combination of multiple factors. Your boss, like it or not, is only one of the factors. There are multiple factors, multiple stakeholders, and maybe more than 10 people who need to really be kind of impressed with your work or be aware of your professional contribution to the organization. And without achieving this visibility, just blindly going about doing wonderful work probably is not at all enough. So be aware of this. My whole idea of coming out with this podcast is for you to have an understanding of how powerful this visibility factor is in your growth, irrespective of whichever level you are in. You could be in entry level, you could join an organization fresh out of college, you could join an organization laterally after 10 years of experience, and you could be someone who really want to be the next CEO of that large conglomerate. In all these cases, unless otherwise, you are seen by people who matter, and you are seen by people who are decision makers across the organization. It is very, very difficult for you to sustain your career growth, sustain your professional growth. As I keep repeatedly saying, you have to create a positive perception about yourself, and nobody else cares about a positive perception than you. Yeah, your boss is nice, your boss is great, your boss wants you to grow, but your boss will not hold your brief much more than however you want to. So beyond your boss, if there are other people in the organization who really matter in the final scheme of things in terms of decisions, you really have to work hard to identify who they are and probably keep interacting with them subtly time and again, and probably make them known that you are there in this corporate grand scheme of things. I'm sure I've probably given a quick insight into how important it is to create a positive perception of yourself. As I said, it is not about bragging, it is not about being brash and tom-tomming about your accomplishment. All you are doing is just making you seen in the organization scheme of things, because at the end of the day, that is what matters, and you have to be seen by a number of people other than your immediate boss. I'm sure this video has been very, very insightful to you, and I'm sure you will understand the power of being visible in the organization. At the end of the day, not just the organization. I think today in the entire world, everywhere, in every front, we need to be visible. If you are living in a society, you need to be visible to people, for people to know how good a citizen you are. If you are running for a political office, people need to see you. Perception is there about you. Your children need to see you as a good parent. So that is again creating visibility to the children. Your spouse needs to appreciate that you are a wonderful partner to be with. That again is creating visibility. So end of the day, our life is all about packaging ourselves in the right way to the right audience, and corporate visibility creation is just one small part of the whole thing. But if this concept is getting grounded in you, it will do very, very good to you as a personal brand, and you will probably come out with better flying colors than you do now. Thank you for your time. I'm sure you will find this video worthy of sharing with your peers. Probably you can put it across in your WhatsApp groups and things like that. Consider liking this, and probably I'll be happy if you subscribe to this channel. I'll see you soon with another interesting perspective and topic. Thank you. Have a wonderful life and career ahead. Thank you.